Lovelies, welcome to another episode of McCall Media TV Live, whereby in today's broadcast I'm going to be talking to you about why I've decided to team up OBS, which is Open Broadcaster software, with my StreamYard application, as it were, and basically combine the power of the two and get the best of both worlds. So don't forget, I am available across all of my social media networks, and this live stream is coming to you through my Facebook pages, my Facebook group, Twitter / Periscope, and of course YouTube. So this is how you can find me. Okay, so you're here today because you want to look, or you want to learn, I should imagine, a little bit about how StreamYard can pair up with OBS, and you get those extra functionalities and things from both worlds. So let me just quickly talk to you why it is that I've decided to still continue to use StreamYard. So if you basically have been following my journey over the last few months, you know that I started my live streaming career, shall we say, for business-to-business services and digital marketing and all those kind of topics using StreamYard. And the reason I fell in love with StreamYard is because it is incredibly point and click. I've done a couple of videos recently about behind the scenes with StreamYard, so I will be putting some cards in this video once it's finished processing after I've gone live. But I do suggest that you go and check it out. I've got a couple of playlists all to do with live broadcasting and StreamYard. Now, StreamYard, like I said to you, is probably the easiest tool out there to embrace if you want to do live streaming anything, okay? However, it does have its limitations. And what I was finding as a business kind of guru that was wanting to teach different marketing and technical abilities using computers live to you guys to help you embrace digital technology, I was finding that my hands were being tied back a little bit because of StreamYard, and I'll explain why. So, for example, one of the things that I wanted to do a few months ago, and I kind of started it, but it kind of fell away mainly because of the functionality of StreamYard, is that I wanted to teach some sort of like WordPress tutorials, and sometimes that requires me to block out or privacy protect some of the security keys or connections and links to other plugins and software, because obviously if I broadcast that information, my site could get hacked, or the site I'm working on could get hacked, and that kind of thing. So it's really quite important to me as a person that I wanted to be able to have this privacy option, but I couldn't, because there's only the one sort of a point of view or the one camera available to you inside StreamYard. Then you've got the other little visual effects, things like the background music. You've not got any going on at the moment because I want to show you this in just a second. In fact, let me just do this now, see if I can get it to come in. And what if you listen real carefully, look. So that's a song that I actually found on another YouTube video that I kind of fell in love with, but I took the version without the lyrics, and it's quite slow and calming, and it's really nice for background music, but you can't do that in StreamYard. I'm operating that right now through OBS, which is feeding into StreamYard. And so there's lots and lots of little, say, quirky little personalities that I was kind of wanting to start embracing, but they just didn't exist. So that led me to start playing. Now, initially, I was going to drop StreamYard and go all out just with OBS. But here is in the other limitations. OBS, I could stream to 2 platforms simultaneously. I could stream to Facebook whilst recording YouTube and set up the streaming keys for both of those platforms and go live on 2 locations at the same time using OBS. But that actually means that the OBS software on my computer was then having to duplicate those stream broadcasts. So that's double the amount of bandwidth, double the amount of energy, double the amount of everything, memory, space, whatever. And it was kind of lagging a little bit. And that also meant that I still couldn't embrace LinkedIn or Twitter or any of the other platforms that people are starting to get used to finding me on. So instantly then I had the limitation of just using OBS. Then there was also the fact that actually, when I want to deal with guests or change my screen layout, although I can set this up and use Zoom or something like Skype and feed that in to my OBS platform for a guest, it's very fiddly, very very kind of annoying, shall we say, in some respects, trying to set it all up. I mean, that might be put down to maybe a little bit of inexperience using it, or just the fact that I've got so comfortable using StreamYard that it's so point and click that actually kind of, you know, I'm stuck in my ways now, as it were. So today's little video is all about the combination of these two awesome tools added together to provide this one live broadcast. And I am going to literally flip my screen round sort of now and show you exactly what's going on. Now, I hope this background music isn't too loud for you. Maybe somebody in the comments, something that's also quite challenging to do in OBS, could give me a comment now on whatever platform you're watching and to say if the background music is the right level or not. So let's flip this around, something that you can do with OBS. So I am going to show you my center monitor. Remember, I've got the 3 screens. Now, this is really busy for you, so please don't feel overwhelmed. And I'm going to talk you through what's going on. Essentially, I've got the 2 applications open side by side in the same window. And I'm going to explain, even though I've got 3 monitors, and for the sake of this broadcast, I could have shared them all out and spread them all out. I haven't done, and there is a reason to my madness. Now, let's quickly just talk you through StreamYard. Okay, so over here on the left-hand side, this black window is actually, or this blackish kind of outline here, this square, is actually the live broadcast. This is what you guys are physically seeing. Okay, on the right-hand side here, I have my my OBS software, and this here is also showing me at the moment, because this is now feeding my actual monitor screen into StreamYard. So they're kind of repeating each other, but this one is actually allowing me, OBS is allowing me to use the multiple cameras. So for example, at a touch of a button, I can switch to my right hand monitor, which at the moment is basically the feed for my DSLR camera. So these are all the tools for my DSLR camera, and that's feeding into OBS. And what I've just done is I've literally cropped out just this tiny little window here, which is the feed into my OBS stream. Okay, so if you look down here, okay, these little sort of window setups, as it were, allow me to change. Now, I've only got the 1 window going on at the moment, which is why it's not allowing me to change. But this essentially gives me a lot more power for sharing screens and all sorts. So let me actually see if I can share my screen and do it this way with you. So let me go back up here. There we go. So this might not be quite so confusing to you now by seeing it this way. So what we've got going on here is I've now combined OBS with StreamYard to give you this feed. So what we've got going on here in StreamYard, if you look down here, is I'm using this display, having added in my screen, sharing that with you. So basically, StreamYard will allow you to have 1 camera and up to 1 other screen and 1 other guest, or up to 10 other guests, but they all appear down here. So from my perspective, I've got 1 camera, 1 screen, which is over here. But I wanted to run my OBS through StreamYard, and the reason I've had to do that is I've basically had to embrace virtual cam, because my camcorder can only sort of stream or provide feed, shall we say, into one of these tools at any one time. So in order to have the multi-camera functionality and to be able to embrace things like my StreamDeck, I've had to take my camera feed into OBS first of all, because that's where the power of OBS comes in. So if you look down here on this OBS panel, what you've got going on here is these first 2 are my little YouTube effects. So if you bear with me a second. There we go. So you've got my little YouTube PNG image along with the sound effects. That's all timed to show for 4 seconds. Then we've got my actual webcam feed that you're seeing right now. Then I've created it as a little porthole thumbnail image, which you can't see at the moment because I'm on the wrong image. But if I was to go, let me just take you over to my center monitor again. Oh, it's probably a bit busy. Let's go left. Okay, if you can look just down here at the bottom, now I'm not using my left monitor, but you can see, that's why it's black, but you can see here that I've got a little porthole image, and that will be showing on the screen to you guys right now. So let me just go back to my DSLR so I don't screw anything up. Right, so that's basically some of the little tricks that you can do using OBS, which you can't do inside StreamYard. Then obviously I've got my left, center and right monitors. I haven't got it set up right now, but I actually use Zoom as my which is why there's a big old gap on my right monitor up here. So let me just come back. So the reason that there's a big old blue space, which is my desktop, is because I don't have Zoom enabled at the moment, because when I do that, actually feeds my mobile phone to be a remote mobile webcam. So the screens are all set up exactly the way they are at the moment, because what I do is I literally crop out and feed in the images into OBS. So I cut out all of this noise that you see going on and just work with the display. And this is why it's kind of a little bit fiddly when you are dealing with lots of different guests, especially if a guest's, like when I was talking to Eddie over in the US about a week ago, and the live and the internet cut out. For me to do that live with her with OBS would mean that I'd have to actually do a lot of fiddling around live instead of just accepting her, which is what I can do with StreamYard. So there's pros and cons. It depends on your environment. If there was two of us doing a StreamYard as a teamed broadcast, it wouldn't be so bad, because I could be doing the talking, for example, and the other person could be doing the tech. But whilst you're actually trying to deliver, hold a conversation, remember what you're talking about, try not to repeat yourself, ignoring the ums and ahs and all the other jazz that goes with presenting a live stream, and deal with the technology when it goes wrong, is quite a challenge to do, because your mind literally wants to shut off your mouth and focus on what it is that you've got to fix. So there we go. What we've got going on at the very bottom here is my Logitech webcam, which at the moment is on, but it's obviously focused on my desktop at the moment. So there you go. You can see my desktop. And then if I switch it round, that's when it flips the screen the other way round, or it's not working right now, so I'll have to check on that. But that is essentially for when I want to use the webcam instead of my actual camera. Okay, so you've kind of got an idea, and then what we've got going on over here at the very bottom is a background music. Now, if you look carefully, the background music is up here on the left-hand side. I'm trying to simplify this for you, because what this is it's basically a scene. Now you can nest scenes. So I've taken the scene here and I've created it once, and inside that scene I have got various different music items. They're all turned off except the one that's playing. Okay, now this is where I can control my music for all my broadcasts. As you can see, I also got one going on for my networking event that I have, and this blue one here right now is the main broadcast that you are seeing. So what I can do is, inside my actual broadcast that I'm now live in, I can turn on or off the music, which is real quick and easy for me to do at a click of a button. What that does is it basically enables or disables that, shall we say, folder from existing within this broadcast. But if I was to go into that folder and switch my music, say, let's go for the song Dreamer, you might not hear it, it might be quite low. There we go. Let me just change the settings so you can hear it as a broadcast. Now you can hear that the music is changed in the background. And now the power that this gives me basically means that I can set up broadcasts and customize them any way I want with regards to whatever my purpose is. But I've only got to deal with my music once, because my music is controlled here. And then I feed that whole entire folder stroke scene into the broadcast. And then just turning it on and off will allow me to play the music. And I can't open that inside here. So the content of the music is held over here. And I'm going to do an entire OBS scenes and sources tutorial, because when you can understand or get your head around this, and it can be for those who aren't broadcasters. I'm not a broadcaster, I'm a techie and a person that's very passionate about digital marketing. But when you have the ability to get this stuff in your head, and it just suddenly that has that light bulb moment, this is incredibly powerful stuff, and it can work for you on a variety of different ways and things that you can do. Let me just turn that music down a little bit more, because it's gone a little bit crazy now it's kicked in. So there we go. So this is basically how we Oh, you can't hear the background. Oh, sorry. I'm just going to look at the comment that's come in. We've got the business troubleshooter who said you can't hear the background music. I think the song was just kicking in. Maybe if you can give me a little heads up to say if you can hear it now. I want the background music to obviously be in the background, but I obviously don't want it to dominate me. So let me just turn it up just a tad more and see if that actually helps you guys. There we go. Right. So, but essentially now you've got this idea going on, you can see the power it gives you. So basically the benefits of using StreamYard: very easy to accept guests, very point and click, easy to go. You don't have to be a technical wizard. You can embrace it and hit the ground running within a couple of minutes. It goes live across multiple platforms instantly for you once you've got it set up, which means they actually, when you've pre-scheduled, like I've done for this broadcast last night, it actually works like an advertisement for you as well, sitting on your social media platforms, which is like another social media pin going out that you don't have to deal with. Okay, so there's a lot of power and benefits, but it has its limitations. You've got no sound effects. You've got no gimmicks that you can throw up on screen. You can't use multiple camera views, and you can only share one desktop at a time, and those kind of things. So that's why I have basically at the moment embraced the two. Now the only thing that is letting me down, that I feel is now holding me back as a broadcaster, and I'm just gonna basically just test this for you, is I'm just doing my autofocus on my camera there, okay, is that you can see that I am nice and crisp and clear. On a couple of the playbacks, when I've done a couple of these two tools combined, watch, there still seems to be that tiny bit of lagging. And the only other thing that's really frustrating to me is if I do throw up my right hand side screen for you, you will actually see that it looks a lot clearer here on my actual feed directly from the camera than it is the feed coming through my DSLR into OBS. And I think this is because StreamYard only broadcasts at 720. Let me just bring that up on screen settings, and we've got camera. So as you can see, this is my virtual cam here and not my actual webcam. So I'm using the OBS virtual cam, but you can only stream at 720p, not 1080p or even higher. And I think the reason for this is because StreamYard, the power of using StreamYard, again, is because of their whole ability to go across multiple servers for you. So if I was to go to 2 different platforms, like I said a minute ago, I was doubling the effort on my computer, the software, the internet connection, absolutely everything, because I was sending these 2 broadcasts out directly from my machine, whereby StreamYard, when you connect to StreamYard, you as a computer are connecting as one connection, and then StreamYard servers are then doing the work and the heavy lifting of loading your live feed through to the other platforms for you. And so therefore, I think the reason they have therefore capped the stream video quality to be 720 is purely because of the internet and the amount of work their own servers needs to do. This is also going to be an area that I am going to explore in a bit in the future, because you can actually set up your own virtual server. And I know I'm a girl that opens up a can of worms for herself and needs to learn to work with what's going on, but I can't help but tinker and play. And the good thing is, all my tinkering and playing means that you guys don't have to. I report back to you, tell you what's going on, what's good, what's not, what works, what doesn't, and you don't have to figure it out yourself. You could just ride the wave of the knowledge that I am sharing with you guys. So that kind of brings me a little bit to a conclusion for today's video, to be honest with you. You've now seen behind the scenes for StreamYard. You've seen behind the scenes of OBS. I've already taught on another video how to connect the two together using a virtual cam. Just to recap, if you aren't sure what the virtual cam is, you do need to download OBS, download virtual cam from their plugins, and basically that allows OBS to work like a camera itself and send the feed through, whilst fooling StreamYard and telling it not to use your actual webcam, like my Logitech webcam here. So that's kind of basically everything that's going on today. You'll have to let me know if the music's too loud. I'll be able to watch it and hear for myself in the playback. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So the next task that I'm going to do, one of the next videos, is to teach you actually how to set this up. Some little transitions I'm going to play with now, moving things on screen, giving it some little pimped up jazzy effects now that I've got this whole broadcast formula set up. So unless anybody's got any last questions, because I can see a few people that are watching live right now, I'll give it a few seconds for those comments to come through. That's it. I'm done. So thank you very much indeed for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, stay notified to my channel, as obviously I do this out of passion. I love for everything techie, and it doesn't mean a lot to me. So thank you very much. Do subscribe, stay tuned, stay notified, stay safe, and I will see you on another live very soon.